157 daripada international series ini. Today we will to talk atau kita nak cakap human capital and psychology and 2023 with the famous speaker today, Dr. Zulfikar Ahmad, Director Counseling Center UTM Malaysia, and Ibu atau Puan Dr. Arbania Fitriani, psikolog dari Esa Unggul University. Nanti kita boleh juga dengar sedikit sharing daripada Batam, Ibu Susi dan atau Kaprodinya. Oleh karena Dr. Zulfikar dan Dr. Arbania dan Dr. Susi sudah pernah melihat ALC official video, mungkin asisten Profesor Indago bilang kita tak payah lagi sharing lah short video itu karena sudah pernah dilihat. Takut nanti saya tambah populer atau menjadi aktor. Padahal Albania lebih cantik daripada saya, pastilah ya, karena dia cewek. Oleh karena itu saya persilahkan terus Dr. Bahtiar Dr. Zulfikar Ahmad untuk boleh sharing the first speaker around 30 to 35 minutes, and after that biasalah ada song for refreshing before the second speaker. Okey, tanpa membuang masa lagi, kita jemput Dr. Zulfikar Ahmad is the first speaker. Time is yours. Masa sila diguna. Terima kasih.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Jazakallahu khair katsir to Professor Matia ataupun Associate Professor Dr. Syarul Izzah, and obviously my fellow colleagues, Dr. Arbania Fitriani. I think I'll be speaking in English. They'll be more comfortable with me because masa ke Jakarta saya enggak begitu ini. Dan walaupun kalau yang baru mengenali saya sebenarnya Malindo, Malaysia, Indonesia. Aslinya di Pariaman, Padang, Sumatera. Kampung Sungai Limau to be more precise. It's about like 10 kilometers to Pariaman. Okay, but then I was born here. So yeah, the previous session was about mental health, and I think this topic will be on the trend of psychology. But before that, again, thank you so much for inviting me for the second time, and inshallah, whatever that I have, I will try to share with you, with the fellow colleagues and the fellow audience. But before that, I would like to know whether the audiences among psychology students or psychology practitioners or lecturers, are we talking to students, to be more specific? Are they graduating, Pak Gumilang?
This is the student of psychology from Esa Unggul and another campus too.
So basically, this is the sharing for the psychology students, giving the prospect, not hopes. You know, because I cannot say hope because I'm not pretty sure about the scenario in Indonesia on regards to students of psychology students or graduates. But I'm talking, I'll try to say in a very general way, especially the world of psychology these days. Okay, and I will start off with what do you call that? To see how far the student. Now, I would prefer if the students would interact with me, or any fellow audiences who like to interact with me, to have any questions, just stop me anywhere and ask questions. And inshallah, if I could answer the questions, I'll be more than happy to assist you. Okay. So when we talk about psychology itself, it can be divided into few big areas actually. You know, for most people, the layman, when we say about psychology, or in Indonesia we call it psycholog, psycholog. People, the first perception or stigma, or probably the what we call it, the understandings, is psychology deals with a mental health, mental illness. But despite of those things, psychology had covered so many aspects of human being. That includes the areas of the studies, the area of the specializations. So we can say that some of the major area of psychology that is known, especially in the academic world. We have the social psychologists, we got clinical psychologists, we got industrial organizational psychologists, we got counseling psychologists, and we got developmental psychologists, and even we have the engineering psychology. These are some of the understandings of people about when talk about psychology itself. So I'm not sure how far the practice of psychology in Indonesia, but pretty much that the element of psychology itself need to be fully understood by the students before they can actually practice. Now, obviously, for the first year student, the degree students, what you are doing is actually basic psychology, means like going for an understanding of psychology, not as much as, there's another area of psychology that is not really, I would say, not really been known. That is what we call as the applied psychology ataupun psychology gunaan, okay, as compared to the basic psychology. Because if you're doing psychology itself, for most people, for undergraduate, they think that by having basic psychology is sufficient enough. But in the true facts, it is not enough, okay? Because basic psychology is basically about understanding about human being. That doesn't put you into practice actually, okay? That is why, when you are taking undergraduates, especially the degree level, you'll be exposed to subjects, general subjects like physiology, health psychology. All those things are basic. Once you decide to go for your specializations, that will be on the master level onwards, okay? And need for the students to understand that when we talk about psychology itself, the main areas that makes psychology as a field, as a specialization, or to be really practiced, is that doing some assessment. This what makes psychology differs from others areas. Okay, so and obviously clinical psychology. Okay, when we talk about prospect in psychology, clinical psychology is pretty much needed these days. As what Dr. Sharo, Dr. Tengku mentioned just now, like, yeah, the social medias have caused us so many things these days, on regards to mental health issues, the mental illness issues. So everywhere, almost everywhere in need of clinical psychology, okay? And we don't have that many in Malaysia currents, okay? But why? Why do clinical psychologists are among needed these days? As I mentioned, we each and every year we have so many engineers. Most universities, they had these engineering students graduated, but less that we know that who deals with humans. We train them to deal with machines, but unfortunately, do we think about who deal with human, who deals the machines? Okay, so that is why clinical psychologists are among top. Okay? And I'm not sure in Indonesia, but most universities they start to have clinical psychologists one of their major offered in the university. Okay, and what else? What do we have under psychology in general? Okay, despite of having clinical psychology, okay, we do have IO, or known as industrial organizational psychology. Again, understanding where these psychologists, or before you can actually be called yourself as a psychologist, where do you station, which sectors or which areas of nations that you belong, if you were to be in any of this. So industrial organizational psychology, by its names, it is needed, in sectors like factories, in human resource officers, and perhaps in recruitment areas, So those who are interested in IO, industrial organizational psychology, you are most welcome, especially when we deal with a human resource. So not every psychologist really go for clinics kind of things. Okay, there are stations also in offices, in administrative offices. We do need, as a matter of fact, there was one time in Malaysia, you mentioned that in one company they have to have at least one IO psychologist in their what call that in their organizations. Okay, it shows that how in needs we are a company, an organization in need of someone that can actually caters, the well-beings of the staff. Okay, and then another areas that been quite known is psychology counseling. Okay, by name itself, actually counseling is a sub area of psychology, but somehow it can stand alone by itself. But no, if you're taking counseling, you can't run away from understanding humans. Okay, because we are being triggered by anything around us that made who we are today. So that's why counseling psychology is among needed. Okay, and then sports psychology. Okay, well, sports psychology is another area in which it's highly in demand. Let's just take example China. Badminton. These are the giants: China, Indonesia, Malaysia, Denmark, and recently we can see Thailand, India. They are catching up with us. So one of the secret is actually having sports psychologists within their team. Okay, within their team. Why? Now the basic principle of psychology is what do you call that? The human's behaviors from the cognitive processes. I mean, like this is highly known by the psychology students in your introduction psychology. Get that understood, then you can actually see the field of psychology. So sport psychology is another areas in which you can actually venture into. Now, what else? Now, we got environmental psychologists. Okay, so what do the environmental psychologists do? It enhance the performance or the well-being of in the structures, in buildings, in one residential areas. We know that Jakarta is looking forward for another capital in Kalimantan, ya Pak. So I think this is another area of psychologists Indonesia need to develop the cities, the new cities in Kalimantan, because Jakarta is cramped. It's about like what, 8 million population in Jakarta itself. 13. So just imagine. So environment psychologist is also required, to assist in urban plannings of Jakarta, in Kalimantan, obviously another capital of Indonesia. Okay, what else? We got forensic psychology. I think this is one of the areas. If you do watch what I call that, these dramas, crime scene investigation, CSI. I'm not sure whether it is at in Indonesia, but most people are interested to study forensics. Okay, so forensic psychology is another sub areas. Okay, sub areas. What do forensic psychologists do? Forensic psychologists enhance the performance and the well-being of our armies, what call that, the police. So it also assists in the process of rehabilitation and to assist in investigating crimes. Okay, so that's why we also need forensic psychologists. We got economic psychologists. It looks into the areas of like marketing, what for that, the hartanah, what do you call it, hartanah in Jakarta, property, okay, the foreseen things, how to develop a space, building up residential areas. So the economic psychologists also in need in there. And we got health psychologists who assist, in the health sectors. It is cramped these days. I know Indonesia, with the high density of populations, you do need psychologists of health. Okay, what do? They actually assist you in hospital. There's a bit differ with clinical psychologists. Health psychology really assists those individuals who are in the process of rehabilitating, recovering, those kind of things. We got educational psychologists, and this is among top in every nation. We need educational psychologists in assisting in developing syllabus, assessments into what I call that, our students. Okay, and obviously in the university we do need what I call that, educational psychologists. Okay, so these are some of areas of psychology that is known, but out there is about more than 100 sub areas of psychology. Okay, and some people, some psychologists who really practice, some psychologists do on the theoretical basis, but at the end of the day, psychologists really assist in developing a countries in order to ensure that each and every individuals really find themselves to be a better person. Okay, so let's just say that being a psychologist, it covers all areas of all aspects in a modern life, in our life. you know uh, if you're unable to understand yourself, how would you move on in your life? As a simple understanding of it. Okay, so that's basic as for now. I open for questions if you do have any questions as for now.
Okay. There is some question in my email right now. I will to read after the all speakers.
Oh, okay. Any audiences who like to ask questions?
Yeah, I will to read the question for you in my email right now, but after the second speakers hearing all.
Okay. Okay, so coming back, now obviously when I did mention about psychology, you know, some people being stigmatized with the clinical part of psychology. Unfortunately, no. you know Not areas of psychology who really deals with clinical part of it. Okay, for some, it is important to understand that clinical psychologists do really assist in governing and organizations. That's why I did mention just now part of it. And then when you say about the non-clinical part of it, is actually it is to contribute to the sub areas of psychology, the other sub areas of psychology. So it is important not to focus, because when we study about psychology, there are few subjects. I know some of students, when it comes to learning, some of you when it comes to personality, there are a lot of theories need to be memorized, need to be understand. But at the end of the day, being a practitioner, I've been practicing psychology for the past almost like 23 years now, and it really assists. Now, how it may assist you. Now, uh, the sub um, area of psychology, it requires its own expertise, without having any interference from other experts. Like, but then somehow in the modern days, you know, in upbringing, to make sure the areas, your areas had been accredited, there must be a body that can actually accredit. I'm not sure in Indonesia, but in Malaysia, we have been governed by the, as current, it is governed by the body by the name of Persima, Persatuan Psychology Islam Malaysia, you know, and we do have another bodies in which it helps the practitioners to be more alert and to equip themselves with the current approach and tools in order for us to really assess and to develop the what call that, the people. Okay, so and yeah, I forgot one thing, the political psychologist. Okay, this is quite interesting in Malaysia. Okay, political psychologist is required, especially in Malaysia. We just went through our general elections a few days ago. Okay, and I still have my fingers what call that, what call that, ink.
Macam PN tu, fingernya PN tu.
Okay, I still my ink with me now. Okay, I'm not sure. Yeah, that. Okay, so political psychologists can be seen as those who analyze. You know, I've once been asked by the media what will be my political point of view about Malaysian political agenda, the scenario. I would say that this is quite interesting in Malaysia. Is you can't actually predict things, okay? Because psychology in general is actually about predicting things to come, things to happen, okay? So it's not about like fortune tellers. Psychologists is not a fortune tellers, you know. Even though when you see psychologists, you want to face this thing, they will ask you, oh, if you're a psychologist, can you read me? No, psychologists, we can't read people, okay? Because the basic thing of psychology is about predicting. That's why when you learn, you know, in psychology of learning, you know, it's about let's say for example the classical conditioning, the operant conditioning is based on the predictions that things happen, you know, due to, this is what we call as the basic psychology, the R. There is a stimulus, there must be a response, so the appropriate response for it. So the psychologists will look into the areas where things did not respond appropriately. Okay, that is where we come in to study. That's why the sub areas of psychology that I mentioned earlier is actually we study things that is are not supposed to happen, but it happened. Okay, and we cater that thing, we cater that situation. Okay, so and the major threat, of our areas these days is actually the pseudoscience, the pseudopsychology areas. Okay, what are the pseudoscience, the pseudopsychology? Now, I'm not sure how many of you really know or heard about what we call as a NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. Okay, so this is being a big debate, Dr. Charul and Dr. Benya, and people are they trust more on the NLP things, you know. So this what we call as a pseudoscience or pseudopsychology really threat us, you know, because as a psychologist we have the basis of what we ever what we report and what we, our observations, our assessment, we have the basis. Unfortunately, no, for the NLP. That's the first threat. The second threat is the second threat come from the motivators. Okay, psychologists, we are not motivators. Bear in mind, you know, I think the same trend happened in Indonesia as much as in Malaysia. People trust more on the motivators rather on the psychologists. Okay, so motivators, they don't actually have basis about human beings. Okay, they say something on the basis of their experiences and their mere observations, but we really listen to them because of the quotes they come up with, the very nice quotes, the very motivational, the positive side of things. These are motivators. Be very careful about this, you know. Like me, by practice, when people say that avoid yourself from toxic people. Now, as a psychologist, I can't say that because we need toxic people in life. in order for us to go through life. So this major threat is just like those who are in the Ustad Pak Kiai. We can see these days so many people claim themselves as a Ustad, as a Kiai, but as the religious background, they are not that strong. But most people believe and listen to them. So I think this is being a major threat, not only in psychology area, but to most areas out there. Okay, so if you really decide to be in psychology, equip yourself not only with knowledge, because if you want to be a psychologist, it requires another skills, that is observations. You must be someone who really observant. Okay, because as a psychologist, when you see things around you, so your surrounding, is merely what you see, is not what is meant. Be very careful. Okay, it's not being proud of being a psychologist, but being a psychologist again is a big amana, it's a big responsibility. It is not easy for you to access someone. When you write a report about someone, let's say for example, if you are in IO, industrial organizational psychology, if you were to send a staff for a training, find a proper trainings that with the proper skills, identify the skills of the staff. Okay, or not, it's going to be like you're sending them for a vacation, or you're sending them to hell. This is not psychologist. Okay, so do sports psychologists, for example. If you're being a sports psychologist, it's not about motivate them, no, it's about enhance their performance. Okay, so that is why if you can see big teams in football, for example, sitting on the bench with them, one of them maybe a sports psychologist.
Oh, ini
and
yang 2 tahun.
Sorry.
Okay, it's really, let me just take for example another team. Okay, Liverpool, even though I'm not a Liverpool fan, okay, they do have groups of psychologists that really be there on the training ground, that look into the performance of each players. Okay, and they could detect if the players are emotionally disturbed during that time. So what would be a proper training for them? Okay, so these are some of the areas of psychology that can be benefits for the students. And if a student comes to me and they will say that I want to take psychology as my major, my first question, why psychology? If you are unable to answer that simple question, why psychology, then I'm afraid that you are taking psychology just for the sake of making money in the future. That is not psychology. Okay, we are here to assist people to be a better person. That is personally, I would say that is psychology. That is my personal point of view. Okay, I think that's about now.
Yep.
Syarul.
Thank you very much. Beda kalau praktisional bicara itu semuanya daging. Maksudnya base off. Tadi you kata psikologi political tu betul tu, karena orang PAS sudah mendapat manfaat, dia bilang kalau tak pilih enggak masuk surga.
This is politics. This is politics.
Yeah.
In politics, that is why we can predict things. Few psychologists under him. Okay. Now he can retain his position now.
Okay.
That's why it is important when we say about political psychology.
Okay, nanti kita cakap satu episod mengenai psikologi politik lepas. Lepas. Karena itu satu hal yang menarik. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's very
Good morning, everyone. So I will try to speak in Bahasa and also in English. Actually, I admire for the previous speaker about the speech about the psychology. Actually, it really sangat ini ya, relevan, very relevant. karena memang betul psychology is a big responsibility for us. Actually, I have a lot of students of Esa Unggul here, so I think it's very interesting topics, yeah. About the responsibility. Actually, saya ini lebih ke practitioner, Prof. So I have a job in a management consulting, human capital consulting, and you may say 2/3, ya 2/3 waktu saya actually in a practitioner. So I will try to speak about the practitioner because the previous speaker already speak about psychology. So I will try to speak about the human capital trend. So please, the committee, please share the screen. Could you please? Or no? Well, okay, I'll try to present. Because host disable participant screen sharing.
Indah Gumilang, we need to have you or your student?
No, actually, I was shared to the committee, the PowerPoint.
You can to share Ibu Armania.
Yeah, because host disable participant screen sharing.
Okay. Kang Indah,
well, while waiting, yeah, I don't know, Mr. Gumilang, maybe.
Yeah, he can help you, but I hope you have to share him.
Okay.
Kang Indah sudah terima PowerPoint dari Ibu.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, right
so,
now
we will.
Okay.
We will try to talk about human capital trend in 2023. Please, next. So we are facing future of work trends 2023 that we are in the 4.0 industries. I think all of us already heard about the 4.0. Actually, the precise term is a post-COVID era because the 4.0 industry most rapidly in this post-COVID era. So please, next. Yeah, as we seen in the screen, we are facing 1.0 is a mechanical era that at the time in 1784 era, we were facing mechanical production equipment. At the time, we create a machine, yeah. And we continue at 2.0 era in electrical, so we can produce mass production. And in 3.0 era, we were facing internet, automated production in 1969, and now we are facing 4.0, or we may say post-COVID-19 digital, automatic complex tasks. So in 4.0 era, what we are facing are, we are 10 times impact of the internet revolution. So as a previous speaker, Mr. Zul said that we were facing social media, digital platform that blurring everything, yeah, Prof, like a poster, the date and the day not synchron. So actually, this is a very dadakan, yeah, slides. I adopt the previous slide that actually 1 year ago I also present this, but I will try to spotlight the important thing in this my PowerPoint in this time. So the impact of the 4.0 industry, that everything is blurring the physical and cyber digital divide. Yeah. Maybe you know in Indonesia, the President Joko Widodo in May, he said that the government will implementing work from anywhere. Have you heard about that, Mr. Zul? So the pegawai negeri sipil, the ASN, yeah, they will
we also
work
have
from
that thing.
anywhere.
And
Yeah,
it caused
so
major problem. It really
yeah,
caused major
yeah.
problem.
Yeah. Actually, it will cause the major problem because actually we are not ready enough for the digitalization of from the bandwidth, from the knowledge of the public about the digitalization. So the impact, it will be caused in the social, economic, industry, government, and individual. So that is the challenge that we will facing in the next future trend. And actually, maybe the viral in the TikTok or the Instagram that we will facing the recession. Actually, in the Inggris, Eropa, they already facing a recession, right? So the rumor in Indonesia, we will facing the recession in 2023. So the impact, there will be a lot of PHK, ya, akan banyak sekali PHK, and the economic will not grow. So we have to set ourselves to facing the recession, and they said the recession more worse than 1998 at that time. So please next slide. Next. Okay. So to emerge stronger from the COVID-19 crisis, companies should start this reskilling their workforce now. So as a di sini banyak sekali mahasiswa ya. So as a student, you have to set yourself to prepare the recession, the challenge, the changes in the they have information in 2024. We will facing perubahan yang sangat drastis, ya, a very a huge change about our organization. So please next. So if we see in nowadays, only 74 remain from 500 organization after 51 years. They collapse because they trespass governance principle, ethic, and culture in organizations. So as we know that Netflix did not kill Blockbuster, ridiculous late fees did. Ya, so kalau misalnya kita lihat ya sekarang kayak film Brahmastra gitu ya. Kemarin kan lagi viral tuh film itu, atau film Black Widow atau apa gitu ya. Hanya dalam berapa bulan sudah ada ya di Disney Hotstar. Uber did not kill the taxi business, limited access and fair control did. So kalau kayak dulu ya sempat waktu itu banyak demo ya, sebenarnya mereka did not kill the taxi business, but actually kemudahannya ya. Jadi kemudahan untuk memperolehnya, dan yang pasti juga dari sisi harga. Apple did not kill the music industry, being forced to buy full-length albums did. Amazon did not kill other retailers, poor customer service and experience did. Airbnb isn't killing the hotel, limited availability. So kalau kita lihat sebenarnya banyak yang muncul itu tidak membunuh bisnis yang ada. So what the lesson learned in this case? Memang we will facing a very disruptive era, but it will also an opportunity for us. So as a student, we have to realize that if we are facing crisis, we will have an opportunity also. Jadi kalau misalnya nanti memang jangan takut, so don't be afraid. I will not try to scare all of you, but I will try to motivate you. So banyak peluang, ya. Even though we will facing a crisis, ya, like a pandemic before. A lot of our students in Esa Unggul, they were forcing to stop their study because they don't have money after they have layoff in their office, ya, before, so mereka tidak punya dana, ya, dan mungkin ini juga akan terjadi in the next year. So but if we can catch the opportunity, kita bisa menghasilkan uang lebih banyak, ya. Banyak sekali peluang yang bisa kita lakukan. Next, please, host. Next.
Right.
Yeah. In 2017, the McKinsey Global Institute estimate that as many as 375 million workers on 14% of the global workforce will have to switch occupations or acquire new skills by 2030 because of automation and artificial intelligence. Nah, ini yang menarik, artificial intelligence. Saya harus berbicara dalam bahasa Indonesia, ya. Kenapa? Jadi kita ini kan akan menghadapi yang namanya AI. Sebenarnya mulai dari piringan hitam itu sudah AI. Segala hal yang mempermudah itu adalah artificial intelligence. Nah, kedepannya hampir seluruh pekerjaan itu akan digantikan oleh artificial intelligence. Apa yang tidak akan digantikan? Human touch. So, psychology will be very important because at the future, ya, sebenarnya bukan future amat, at the nowadays, ya, di masa sekarang, orang akan semakin banyak depresi. Artificial intelligence like social media is also artificial intelligence. Actually, my midterm case about the screen time, about the social media effect in a depression, ya, in a mental health. Jadi kebutuhan akan psikologi itu akan sangat-sangat penting di masa sekarang dan di masa akan datang. Jadi Anda yang berkuliah di Fakultas Psikologi in this time itu sudah sangat-sangat tepat. But you have to have the skills that you need. Ya, pertama nanti ada sebenarnya slide-nya. Leadership, self leadership, ya, dan social influence, kemampuan mempengaruhi orang lain. So, ini kami para dosen itu kan punya grup dosen, ya. Ini mumpung banyak mahasiswa saya juga di sini, ya. Jadi keterampilan kalian dalam berkomunikasi, dalam membalas WA, dalam bersosial media itu sangat penting. Jadi gini Prof, ada kasus, ya, mahasiswa nggak ikut UTS, alasannya lupa, ya, terus kirim icon senyum, ketawa ke dosennya. Maaf Pak, saya lupa UTS. I'm sorry sir, I forget to join the midterm. Haha, because I forget. So you are in a psychology. You can imagine if in the future you are as a psychologist receive text from your clients and you cannot reply proper. You don't have any empathy. Kamu tidak punya empati, ya. You can imagine the student texting the lecture, forgetting to join the midterm, and with the laugh, not smile, icon, laughing icon. So what kind of psychologist you will be if your skill like that? So in a recent McKinsey Global Survey, 87% of executives said that they were experiencing skill gap. Yeah. Actually, like the case that I told before, the students sent texting the lecture, he or she forgetting to join the midterm, that having 12-hour due date. So kita punya 12 jam loh, Prof, due date to finish the exam. How can you forget it? And how can you texting the lecture with the laughing icon? That is not the skill to facing the challenge in the future, not only in the 2023, but in the long term. So you have to fix that. Yeah. I already saya barusan keliling Indonesia because I'm doing a satisfaction survey for the employee and also for the customer in the fund pension fund, ya, untuk dana pensiun. And do you know what the leadership said about the zillennial, about the millennial? Actually, for the zillennial is in the 2000 up, ya. They were born in 2000 up, ya, di tahun 2000-an. They don't have any ethics. And as you know, the ethics, yeah, is the most skill that you have to have in the future to facing the artificial intelligence. People need human touch, ya. Banyak pensiun, a lot of pensiun, they came to the office of the pension organization just to talk. Ada kasus pensiunan yang they come to the bank, ya, they visit to the bank to untuk menarik, to expel, and to untuk menyetor kembali uang at the same day, hanya satu hari. For what? Just to have a human touch. She or he feeling lonely, sangat kesepian, dan hanya dengan datang ke bank, menyetor, terus menarik, itu dia sudah merasa bahagia. So in the future, yeah, it reality, dan ini sangat menarik. So actually, I feel very thankful that Professor Reza inviting me to share this, because I have to share this information. Yeah, in the future, artificial intelligence will replace all the work. Yeah, but only one. Jadi peluang untuk kita menghasilkan uang in the future is a human touch. Every business that mengutamakan prioritizing the human touch will succeed. That is the secret. Dan belum banyak yang tahu hal seperti ini. So if you have a digital company and you have a human touch, pendekatan human touch, ya, approach, you will succeed in your business. So the student, if you will be the psychologist, or you will become a entrepreneur, if you packaging your business in a social human touch aspects, you prioritizing the human touch, you will be successful. So this is the secret. So the skills that very important you have to succeed in the future, not only in 2023, is ethic and genuinely human touch and interpersonal skills. So this is the secret. So my students, I have a lot of students in Esa Unggul here, actually in my area. Yeah, I asked them to join because my ujian akhir semester will taken from this lecture. So please next. So you have to bold that my point of view. So how we build a future-ready human capital workforce for 2023? We will talking about the yang paling in the short term ya, yang paling mungkin kita dapatkan. Please. Also as a student, karena di sini banyak yang baru masuk ya, Prof. Mereka masih akan menjadi student in the next year. This is the skills that you have to have in the as a student also. Please next. Next. Maybe you can click all the slide. Yeah, analytical thinking and innovation. Yeah, as a students and kalian akan menjadi di sini juga akan ada yang soon they will be graduate. Yeah, you have to have analytical thinking, kemampuan analisis. So whatever your lecture giving to you, yeah, whatever information that your lecture gives to you, you have to analyze, not only to take menelan mentah-mentah, ya. Active learning and learning strategies. We cannot succeed if we don't have these skills. We have to read more, yeah. A lot of our students in this time, mereka hanya menjadi generasi copy paste. You become a copy paste generation. Unfortunately, kita tidak bisa menjadi apa-apa by becoming a copy paste generation. So you have to active learning and learning strategies. Yeah. Read more, complex problem solving. You will facing a more complex problem in the future. Critical thinking and analysis. Next. Creativity and originality. So, if you want to be a successful person, if you want to be successful psychologist, if you want to be a successful entrepreneur or successful employee, whatever you want, you have to have originality. So please don't become a copy-paste generation. Leadership and social influence. This is the most important skills that you have to adopt in yourself. Leadership, not only to lead others, but to lead yourself. Yeah, to lead yourself. Lead yourself to join this meeting, to learn new things. Lead yourself to read minimal one journal, one article a day. Not only to scrolling the TikTok or scrolling the Instagram or Facebook or whatever the social media. It's wasting time. And suddenly you aware, you wake up from your dreams that you become old and you are nothing. Would you be like that? No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think you pay every month for the tuition fees for become a success person. And next, technology use, ya. So kalian nggak boleh jadi orang-orang yang gatek, ya, orang yang kudet, kurang update, ya. You have to chasing the new technology, every new technology. And jika bisa, I have my students here, Adam, I think, ya. Adam is programming, ya. Adam, do you listen to me? Adam is
Yeah.
Adam. Adam is a programming, yeah. I think.
No. Actually, I'm a UI UX
uh,
designer, but working for IT field.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. Adam, maybe you can share a little bit about your working.
Good. Please.
Maybe you can on cam, Adam.
Okay.
Adam,
Okay. Wait a
a little
second.
bit, just a 1 minute.
Very appreciate for you from the you later.
Yeah. Well, for my perspective, because I'm working on IT field, we have to like Mrs. Arbanias Fitrani said, we have to catch up with the latest technology because we are rapidly developing on the IT side. Well, as you can see, we have a meeting or like this lecture session from Zoom, which is a great leap. Like maybe 5 or 6 years ago, we need to be exact in the same place to get around like this. But now with technology, we're able to connect between countries and everywhere and anywhere that you belong. Now we can have a session like this. I think that's my perspective in technology side.
Okay, thank you, Adam.
Yeah,
Good
thank you.
perspective. So the point is have extra skills, not only in your field. So as a psychologist, maybe you can learn about other skills that will supporting you to be a successful person. Next, please. This is the second most. Actually, this is the first. Both skills, leadership and stress tolerance, because the social media effect, the screen time effect, it will be affecting to your mental health. Very, very affecting. Yeah. You're in just a second, you can be very happy by seeing the TikTok or the Instagram or the WhatsApp, yeah. But so your dopamine will be come out to your body, but that is not natural actually, because our body need a minute or hour to exit the dopamine hormone. But the social media platform creating to exceed the dopamine by a second. Ya, nah, but sebaliknya, ya, contrary, you will be very sad at the same time by seeing another information that will be drag you down. So please have stress tolerance. How? Meditate, yoga, sholat, ibadah, ya. Do that just not for the duty, because you are afraid to God. If I'm not doing 5 times sholat, yeah, every day, I will be punished and I will enter hell. No, do that because you want to pursue God. You want to close to the God. So do with all your consciousness. Actually, I'm doing meditations from 2005, since 2005, and I experienced a very banyak sekali pengalaman yang sangat helping me to facing a lot of challenge in my life. So how to increase your resilience, stress tolerance, and flexibility. Jangan jadi kaku, ya. Don't push your point of view to others, ya. Appreciation, not tolerance. Because if you just say I'm tolerate you, yeah, you say that you are better than others, but you tolerate. No, not tolerations, but appreciation. And last but not least, reasoning, problem solving, and ideation. Please.
Okay. There is 5 minutes more.
Yeah, because I think there is a few slides less. Please, next. So if we truly want to address the skill gap and set our people up for success, there are 4 must-have conditions. Next. First, equal access to education and skills training, adequate, reliable internet access for all, private and public sector collaboration, and commitment of leadership. Next. This is the previous for the employees' perception, and this one for the employer's perception. Training programs need to be easily accessible for everyone, regardless of their background, education, or social status. Organizations like Amazon, for example, have decades of knowledge that can be used to create and launch new training programs that teach skills to individuals worldwide. Next. Adequate, reliable internet access for all. We must make sure that the global recovery is one that brings everyone along, and we can achieve that without bridging the digital divide. 2/3 of the world's school-age children, or 1.3 billion children aged 3 to 17 years old, do not have internet connection in their homes, according to a joint report from UNICEF and the International Telecommunication Union. Without access to the internet, in these remote times, professionals, students, and those looking to learn, build, and discover are at immediate and in some case impossible to overcome disadvantage. Sociable training programs, particularly those that have moved from in-person to virtual, require a stable internet connection. Therefore, access to broadband is vital. Next. The second, private and public sector collaboration. In order to promote greater workforce participation and set the stage for a global economic recovery, it is imperative that the private and public sector partner to make critical training easy accessible. This isn't a challenge that one organization or even one sector can solve on its own. Instead, it will require intentional, sustained effort from all sides. Next. I think this is the last slide. Oh, that is, yeah. Okay, so I think that was my sharing for you. So I open the question and answer session. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you. Many personal beautiful in your slide. Therefore, I think like is the speaker. Okay. Some question for you, but I only choose two questions from Dwi. Very interesting sharing about your psychology applied from Dr. Zulfikar. There is a alumni of psychology from University Airlangga Surabaya create training regard motivation to recovery from stress and the physical sick. It can guide participants to heal it. They family with some technique touch by ring or spelling some sentence. Is it applied psychology where we can to recovery regard um, mental sick? Nah, itu dia tanya satu pertanyaan dari Ini dari Rani, dari Rani. Kemudian ini satu lagi dari Yanto. Regarding sample of badminton player who they can to become a winner. Psychology atmosphere very important to conditional their mood and motivation. What sensitive way to push of them mean athlete to maximize effort to be the winner? Itu pertanyaan nomor 2. Okey, kemudian pertanyaan untuk Dr.
Pak,
Arbina.
saya mungkin ambil satu-satu dulu ya Pak.
Oh, nak jawab awal
Dr.
sila.
Ni kalau terlalu banyak nanti kan ini. Okey,
Enggak,
first.
yang lain untuk Dr. Arbina tu Pak. Ini 2 saja pilihan. Okey, sila.
Okey,
I think
yang pertama
the host,
pertama.
pardon me, Dr. Zul. I think the host maybe saya jangan di itu ya. Saya kayaknya masih ini ya di spotlight ya.
Sudah. Ibu nanti ada pertanyaan, 2 pertanyaan untuk Ibu.
No,
Saya baca setelah
I mean
Dr.
my screen saya jadi spotlight. Nah, oke.
Okay. Okay, the spotlight is not on you anymore. Okay, Dr. Mani.
I feel ashamed.
Okay, it's okay. Okay, now the first question is about therapy. I believe it's about therapy. Okay, so in psychology, therapy is not an alien word. Okay, it's an approach where we assist people, in the process of recovery. There are so many ways actually. There are so many therapies. When it comes to healing, but when you say healing, it's not like what we say in a traditional way. Okay, therapy is meant for is being used by psychologists, to assist someone to become functioning back, to become fully functions as previously. Okay, so it may take some people may take a different kind of therapy approach. Now, to relate what Dr. Albania mentioned just now, yes, I agree. Psychology approach, and somehow the IT touch is there, but somehow as a human being, we need human touch. Now, this had been a business, a major trend in Japan and some of the Europe's countries. They offer a cuddling service. They offer someone to talk to. They offer a boyfriend for rent, girlfriend for rent, family for rent, due to loneliness. So if Rani will mention just now about using certain therapy in healing, in recovering an individual, yes, I would agree. But that must be on the basis of psychological approach. So we got so many approaches out there in psychology. Now, and in talking about psychology, again, yes, it is true that it is not easy to study psychology in understanding human being. But human being remains as a human being. I failed my introduction psychology when I was in first sem, and when I took that subject. And when I was in master program, I applied for being a tutor for that subject, introduction psychology. And there were 5 panels during that time. And those panels are professors. And they questioned me, you fail your introduction psychology, now you want to become a tutor for this subject? Why? And I answered them, yes, I admit I failed my introduction psychology. Now I'm applying for being a tutor for the subject because I want to tell and I want to inform my future student, that psychology is one damn tough subject. Why is it so? Because in psychology, not only if you want to become an observant, if you want to, I agree with Dr. Albania mentioned just now, the 10 skills that required, it's not only like 2025. Okay? Because you need to know, when Dr. Albania was mentioning about dopamine, what it got to do with human beings? What got to do with in industrial setting? Now, dopamine is a hormone, okay, that balance your interest. I mean, it's up here. Now, one of the issue is like, for example, pornographic materials, addicted to pornographic materials. Now, dopamine control our I would say fun things. You know, when it go overboard, it overflows. It need a new things that supersede, you know, the interest or not. When the dopamine is overflow, you can say that some of the serotonin level kind of thing. Okay, all those things are required. So if you were to conduct therapy, for example, and you have these basis, these activities is to increase the serotonin level. These activities is increased to supplements for the dopamine, the increments of dopamine. So you provide the therapy or any approach, you can come up with the approach, you know, on that kind of basis. That would to answer Rini's questions. I believe that Rani's question. Okay. So you can come up with, and even, for example, it is quite interesting because we in Asian, we got our own so-called approach or therapies in healing, whether it's a pain, is a physical pain, whether it's a psychological pain, because it been acculturated to our Nusantara. Okay, we cannot use the approach by the Westerners. We cannot use by the approach by the what call it, the Europeans. If you're a Muslim, now one of my area is Islamic psychology, but that is not too highlighted. Okay, my area of specializations is IO, industrial organizational psychology, parenting and child psychology, marital affairs and relationships, and counseling, and human development. Those are my areas. In regards to humans, why the basic elements of society is individual. That is why, Rini, regardless of any therapy, anything goes. And the second question just now, Pak Reza?
Yeah,
The second
regarding
question just now?
sample of badminton player for the
How to
apa tu-
maximize their need. Okay, now in psychology, the basic study of psychology is actually the ABC. Okay, how we are being governed, but what we do is on the basis of ABC. What is ABC? A is affection, that is our emotion. B is behavior, and C is cognitive. This one. So if your emotions are interrupted, it will result in your behavior. And obviously, you can't think straight. If a badminton players, okay, they are required, you know, we've seen badminton when they used to have this system getting point by, you know, we used to have that 15 counts, right, Fat?
what to ranking?
It's
What
too
badminton
lengthy.
rank? Yeah.
It was back in 80s. It was way back in 90s, whereby you can get a heart attack when you watch that what do you call that play. Now, how we maximize an athlete? Psychologists observe and doing some assessment on this basis and this three basis thing: the affections, behavior, and the cognitive. Okay, that's why when I give mention, I gave example about Liverpool just now. Okay, they do have, you know, a psychologist back then, sport psychologists, just stand behind and watch. These players are not performing well. What may be the issue? Okay, now we see Taufik Hidayat. Okay, Indonesia badminton player. We see Lindan. Lindan, he did not play for all he did not play all the tournaments. He played for the major tournaments. Why? Because after we see badminton players, their tournament is like one after another. And how would you maintain your performance? You know, it's not like, let's say for example, Indonesia Open. Next week is Malaysia Open. The following week is the Thailand Open. How would you maintain all these things? You can maintain your dietary, but how would you maintain your emotion? If you were to lose on the first Malaysian Open, for example, next you'll be going for Thailand Open, how would you recover? Emotionally, how would you recover? This is the thing. Okay? So it is important. It is important, like if Indonesia, let's say, I take another example. because I'm also a sportsman. You know, I do watch about the Asians what do you call that, the sports development. You know, timnas Indonesia bola sepak bola. Kalau Bapak masih ingat kan, Pak Reza masih ingat, mungkin Bu Albania nggak tahu lah sama ada minat football atau enggak, saya nggak pasti. Tapi kalau ingat kan, sekitar tahun 2015, 2014, 2010, masa Malaysia akhir Sukan Sukan AFF di Indonesia, player Malaysia terpaksa masuk tank, army tank. You know, pada ketika itu yang penting sebagai player apabila dalam tekanan gitu, yang ini harus kuat, mentalnya harus kuat. Okay, it's not the words of motivation, no, it's how you compose yourself being on the tournament. Pada ketika itu kan kalau kita saksikan kan, penyokong Indonesia kan itu memberi tekanan yang ini kan amat hebat. This is required. Okay, so that's why sports psychologist is needed, because we got that thing in sports science. And in order for you to become a good sports psychologist, it's not about studying about the sport. No, it's studying about the individual. That is why, in order to relate to what Dr. Albania mentioned just now, it's about reskilling, upskilling, and retrain, because we are going into a new phase in life. Because what we deal now is not only the technologies, but we are dealing with the personality gap between generations to another generation. Now we have those who were born 2010 and above, is about like alpha generations. Now, how would we prepare ourselves with this alpha generation player or sportsman? Okay, they don't have this mentality of patriotism. And how would you insert, how would you inculcate this patriotism in them? Because for them, I play for money. It wasn't wrong for them, because sports had been their work, right, Dr. Albania?
Right.
It's become their work,
Correct.
part of their work. Okay, so in order for them to become a better players, to earn more money, they would rather hire someone by their own pocket money as a psychologist be next to them, rather than you see. So this to answer the second question, and I would love to hear the third question, Pak Reza.
Boleh ni, boleh menjadi badminton motivator ni. Okey, di sini Andre Wongso dulu jadi motivator untuk main laki.
I play rugby, Pak Reza. I play rugby.
Rugby ya, oh rugby, bagus. Itu sebab juara terus ya. Okey, Dr. Abania, there is two question for you juga. Saya pilih dua saja. Ini dari Dwi.
I thought there's another third question, Dr. Reza.
Nanti tadi nak hantar dekat chatbot, tapi dia sudah keluar pula kenal.
Okay. And before you pass it to Dr. Albania, and Dr. Reza, and for the fellow audience, I would like to take some time in responding to what Dr. Reza and Dr. Albania mentioned just now. Adab what Dr. Albania mentioned just now about the response of student during the midterm, for the midterm, he did not attend. Adab awalu aim, maknanya adalah adab or ethics is before knowledge.
Ilmu.
Whether you are better, you are genius kind of things, but if you don't have ethics or adab,
betul.
Okay,
itulah.
That is why studying psychology, becoming a psychology, you know, in Arabic we call that ulumul insaniyah, knowledge of humans. Ulumul insaniyah. If you don't have the knowledge of humans, you know, there's no point.
Okay.
And be very careful as a psychologist. If you have all this knowledge, you are exposed, or you have the tendency to manipulate others. Knowledge are not meant to manipulate others.
Ya. Itu sebab ini mamak kata adab basandi sarak basandi kita bawa.
Adab bersanak. Kalau orang Minang tu kan, Pak. Adab bersanak. Okay, thank you so much.
Adab basandi sarak basandi kita bawa. Ya kan?
Pak.
Jadi
penghujung
I'm speaking
Minang set now.
jadi jan bajual ongok jan babali.
Ah,
Ibu
tu orang
Arbania udah
Minang.
pening kepalanya apa itu.
Minta
Itu
maaf Bu Arbania, ampun, saya lagi Minang. Saya orang Minang,
jadi
Pariaman.
Oh
datuknya
gitu,
orang Minang.
dari
Ah,
Minang.
Jadi
Pariaman,
relation,
Padang, Sumatera.
ya relation
Oke.
dengan kakeknya dari sana, tapi beliau orang Malaysia sebagai citizen. Jadi Ibu Arbania
Oke.
itu tadi saya cakap
But
sedikit
Dr. Zul born in Malaysia or Padang?
ya
Okay, I
Malaysia.
was born in Malaysia once my parents were here.
Oh, okay.
But
So
two of my sisters, the
you are a
first and the
citizen
second
of
one,
Malaysia.
yeah, because my father
Ya.
is a Malaysian.
Orang Johor
My
itu
first and second,
orang Johor itu kalau bukan orang Sumatera, orang Jawa kebanyakan.
Jawa.
Oh iya.
My sisters, both of my sisters, the first and the second one, they were born in Pariaman, in Riau and Pariaman. Me and my brother and my sister, the number 3 and number 4, number 3, 4, 5, we were born in Malaysia.
Ya.
But you oftenly
I speak-
visiting Padang or not?
I have my my cousins, my uncle in Jakarta, in Rawamangun, Kebun Jeruk. Kalau ini di Pekanbaru.
Dr.
This is not about me.
Zulfikar,
This is not about me.
Kebun Jeruk near to
only
our universitas.
Is it
Our
really?
campus. Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Actually,
not sure. I didn't know that the campus is there. But
Yeah.
if I were to be there, inshallah.
Esa Unggul is in Kebun Jeruk.
Waduh, okay, inshallah I pay visit once I be there, inshallah.
Wah,
Yeah.
ini
You should
Hawaii.
visit me.
Ya, inshallah.
Good, very good. Oke, Ibu Arbania, ada 2 pertanyaan saya baca terus dari Dwi. Sangat menarik tadi Ibu berbicara tentang human capital. Saya ingin bertanya soal PHK. Saat ini banyak perusahaan melakukan PHK, padahal aset paling penting di perusahaan itu justru human capital. Mestinya perusahaan justru mereduksi cost dari sektor fisik, gedung, kendaraan, sarana-sarana yang tidak terlalu penting. Apakah ini fenomena menunjukkan bahwa eksekutif bisnis masih kurang paham tentang human capital management? Nah, itu pertanyaan nomor 1. Nomor 2 dari Nurul, di Korea pemerintah begitu berhasil mengekspor budaya dan industri kreatif, baik berupa film, musik, dan bentuk budaya lain. Ini bentuk kemampuan pemerintah dalam memberdayakan potensi anak-anak muda di negara Korea. Bagaimana pandangan Ibu mengenai kreatif industri di Indonesia? Bagaimana saran Ibu Arbania agar human capital di Indonesia lebih diberdayakan, apalagi kita punya kementeriannya? Oke, Bu, 2 pertanyaan, silakan.
Ya, mungkin karena pertanyaannya bahasa Indonesia, saya juga akan jawab bahasa Indonesia ya. Jadi yang pertama,
saya juga memahami. Saya juga paham bahasa Indonesia, cuma nak ngomong bahasa Indonesia tuh.
Yeah, actually, I like to speak in English, but the questions in bahasa, so I think biar lebih paham ya, understand what I said later. So jadi gini, kalian ini juga kan nanti akan menjadi eksekutif, ya, pasti yakin gitu. Nah, dari 2 pertanyaan ini, masalah kita apa sebenarnya? Kita selalu melihat keluar. Inilah kesalahan pendidikan dari kecil. Ketika anak kecil nabrak tiang, nabrak jendela, yang dipukul jendelanya. Nakal nih jendelanya. Alhasil, kita tumbuh menjadi generasi yang selalu melihat keluar. Ya, kita lupa bahwa untuk melihat ke dalam. Betul bahwa misalnya seharusnya organisasi mengurangi cost dari gedung, apalagi kan sekarang kita sudah bisa work from anywhere, ya kan? Tetapi apakah kita punya added values untuk dipertahankan bagi organisasi? Karena toh ternyata juga pada saat seperti ini banyak juga yang tetap dipertahankan. Jadi 2 pertanyaan ini gitu ya, menunjukkan bahwa kita tuh masih melihat keluar. Nah, sekarang karena saya orang praktisi ya, lebih banyak di dunia praktisi sebenarnya, saya pengen pragmatis ya. Sekarang what next? Apa yang bisa saya lakukan? Karena ancaman untuk PHK akan lebih banyak lagi di tahun depan. Itu yang tadi saya sampaikan di slide awal. Ketika saya menyampaikan tentang Netflix itu tidak membunuh Blockbuster gitu ya, Airbnb tidak membunuh bisnis perhotelan gitu ya. Artinya kamu harus menciptakan peluang. Kamu harus mencari peluang. Tadi sebenarnya Dr. Zul sudah menyampaikan sebuah peluang. Dan ini bukan bisnis baru. Sebenarnya actually di Indonesia ada bisnis untuk menyediakan jasa for loneliness ya. Bukan hanya untuk rent boyfriend, girlfriend, rent a family ya. Tetapi ada satu bisnis yang menyiapkan dan itu bayarannya bisa sampai miliar, ratusan juta at least gitu ya, untuk menemani para ngobrol ya, para owner of company karena mereka sangat-sangat lonely, mereka sangat kesepian gitu. Jadi sebenarnya banyak peluang. So jangan terpaku pada bahwa fenomena eksekutif belum memahami prinsip human capital. Yes, indeed. Ya, memang kita belum memahami pentingnya human capital. But buat mereka, buat para bisnismen, dan if you become ya menjadi seorang eksekutif, I guarantee you will think same with them. Kamu juga akan berpikir sama. Unless kecuali 40 orang di sini ya, 40 partisipan go transpersonal psychology. Kalian menjadi seorang yang transpersonal, ya, yang tidak hanya memikirkan diri kalian sendiri. The biggest problem in our life, ya, bukan hanya industri, in our life, kita ini sangat-sangat selfish. Kita sangat-sangat egois, ya. That's why itu akhirnya menjadi suatu hukum alam, ya. So kalau sebenarnya pendeknya kalau menjawab, ya betul, kita belum memahami arti human capital. Capital itu kan artinya aset, ya kan? Bahwa manusia itu merupakan aset yang paling penting sebenarnya bagi organisasi, yang banyak hal yang tidak bisa dijawab oleh mesin. Seperti misalnya kayak pertemuan kita via Zoom itu tidak akan bisa tergantikan oleh pertemuan secara personal, human touch. Jadi saya sangat berharap nanti bisa bertemu dengan Dr. Zul in a person ya. I will meet with Prof. Reza in a person because it sangat-sangat different ya. Itu menjawab pertanyaan tadi. So, what is the solution? Jadilah seorang yang transpersonal psychology. Jadilah seorang yang tidak hanya memikirkan diri kita sendiri. If you become a transpersonal person, a transpersonal psychology ya, ini suatu aliran yang juga cukup baru ya di dalam aliran psikologi kita gitu ya. Kamu tidak akan menjadi seorang bisnis eksekutif yang seperti tadi pertanyaan Dwi ya. Start from yourself. Mulailah dari dirimu. Nah, second question about creative industry ini juga menarik gitu ya, bahwa memang ya balik lagi, pemerintah itu kan lahir dari masyarakat. Nah, permasalahannya masyarakat kita, apakah kita dididik untuk menjadi kreatif atau tidak, untuk menjadi seorang yang inovatif atau tidak, gitu. Problemnya kan di sana. Kita ini di Indonesia ya, kita ini selalu balik lagi, akar dari masalah kita apa? Kita tidak pernah melihat ke dalam, selalu yang salah pemerintah. Balik lagi karena itu tadi, pendidikan kita di masa kecil. Kita yang nabrak tiang yang dipukul. Itu dulu benahi. Kalau kalian sudah bisa membenahi itu, nanti kan kalian bakalan punya anak nih. Or maybe you have already have children, ya. Jangan pernah ketika anak kita jatuh, ketika anak kita apa, gitu, termasuk orang tua kita, tell them, bukan, yang salah bukan temboknya, yang salah bukan tiangnya, Anmu yang harus hati-hati. As long as pendidikan kita masih seperti itu, kita pun akan melahirkan pimpinan-pimpinan yang hanya akan memikirkan diri mereka sendiri. Dan kita pun hanya akan selalu menyalahkan. Jadi saling menyalahkan. Banjir yang salah pemerintah. Pemerintah tidak memanfaatkan industri kreatif, salah pemerintah. Are we creative enough? Apakah kita sudah begitu kreatif? Ya, so mungkin saya tarik nih pertanyaannya dari dua ini. Dua hal ya yang saya harap menjadi trace of cognitive memory untuk 40 dan termasuk lecture yang ada di sini. Mari kita mulai dari diri kita sendiri, ya. Kita balik semuanya. Datang dulu dari kita. Let's fix ourselves. Mari kita tingkatkan diri kita, ya. Jangan terus-menerus melempar keluar. Ketika misalnya terjadi layoff, salah dari eksekutif. Ketika di Korea human capital-nya diberdayakan secara produktif, ya, yes mereka. Tapi coba balik, bagaimana pendidikan di Korea? Bagaimana pendidikan masa kecil di Korea? Sehingga mereka menghasilkan pemerintah seperti apa? Meskipun di Korea jauh lebih menderita loh dari kita. Indeks kebahagiaan Korea dengan Indonesia itu masih jauh lebih rendah. Tingkat bunuh diri di Korea itu masih jauh lebih rendah. Ya, kita masih punya warisan gotong royong. But apa yang terlupa sekarang, gotong royong itu sudah semakin menipis. Kita menjadi selfish, akhirnya lahirlah eksekutif yang hanya memikirkan keuntungan mereka sendiri, lahirlah pemerintah yang hanya memikirkan, but you have to memorize, you have to remember, mereka datang dari masyarakat. They came from the citizen. Ya, they were born from the citizen. Itu. So, what we can do, ya, satu, perbaiki pendidikan untuk anak kita, fix ourselves, perbaiki diri kita, lihat dulu ke dalam diri sebelum kita blaming di luar, ya. Meskipun saya tidak mengatakan bahwa Anda memblaming, tidak, no. That was a very good question dan very relevant question, ya. Pertanyaan yang sangat bagus sekali. But ketika saya hanya menjawab yes, human executive business tidak melihat pentingnya, no, itu tidak akan menjadi solusi, ya. Itu tidak akan menjawab apapun. Ya, so perbaiki pendidikan and go beyond personal, become a transpersonal person. Jadilah seorang yang transpersonal. Ketika kamu sudah mulai memikirkan tidak hanya keluargamu, tidak hanya dirimu, then universe will think about you and will help you in a health, wealth, and prosperity.
Okay, thank you Bu, very smart answer. Ini saya mau jemput sedikit waktu Ibu Dr. Susi. Tadi Dr. Zulfikar mengatakan bahwa di Malaysia, terutama UTM, sudah banyak student yang banyak masalah lah. Karena kadang-kadang Perdana Menteri saja tidak sepening dia, tapi dia sudah banyak pening pula juga di Indonesia. Bu, di Batam macam mana Ibu? Mahasiswa Ibu apakah juga makin banyak masalah yang sebetulnya bukan masalah banget, tapi masalah apa? Mungkin Ibu boleh tanya pada Dr. Zulfikar maupun Ibu Armania, apa fenomena di kampus Ibu di Batam? Ibu Susi, silakan Bu, dalam 2-3 menit. Kita ada masa 5 menit.
Terima kasih. Baik Pak Reza, terima kasih. Kalau di Batam memang unik ya, mahasiswa kita rata-rata memang kuliah sambil bekerja. Dosen kita juga begitu, sambil kuliah juga S3. Ini insya Allah ada dosen kita Haryadi itu ngambil di Malaysia S3-nya itu Pak Riza. Ya uniknya memang, iya, ada hadir juga. Iya. Dan tadi mohon maaf saya juga kurang ini ya, ngikutin dari awal. Ya memang kalau fenomena di mahasiswa kita di Batam ini memang unik. Rata-rata mahasiswa kita itu kuliah sambil bekerja. Paling mereka sampai semester 1, semester 2 saja yang first graduate ya. Setelah itu semester 3 ya pasti dari kakak kelasnya, dari teman sejawatnya mungkin ada tawaran kerja. Nah mereka lebih kerja. Nah syukur-syukur ya Bu Arbani itu di Jakarta ya, kalau tidak salah Esa Unggul ya.
Betul.
Iya. Salam Bu, kemarin saya juga ketemu sama Pak Subarno atau siapa yang di Esa Unggul itu. Insya Allah nanti sama-sama kita sama Prof. Thomas mau ke lantai 18 itu, Bu Fitri ya.
Oh, oke, lagi di Jakarta ya, Bu ya.
Iya, iya. Salam
Oke,
kenal nih,
oke.
Bu
Salam kenal,
Arbania.
Ibu.
Iya, iya. Gitu juga Pak Zulfikar ya, Fazul ya tadi ya.
Iya, Zulfikar.
Ya,
Iya,
Bu.
iya.
Jadi
Ya, salam
bagaimana Bu?
Pak.
Jadi mahasiswa Ibu banyak masalah gara-gara stres habis COVID atau macam mana?
Masalahnya memang kadang-kadang mereka itu karena sebagian besar kalau memang sudah tidak bekerja, banyak kan pulang kampung kalau fenomena di Batam ini, Pak Reza. Jadi
Ya,
yang
karena
bertahan itu
perantau
ya
ya,
memang kita kasih,
rata-rata perantau di sana ya.
iya rata-rata di sini perantau. Jadi memang bermasalah sekali COVID ini, banyak pulang kampung. Tapi syukur dengan adanya daring Zoom in ini, mereka walaupun pulang kampung, kadang-kadang masih mau belajar dari kampungnya begitu. Kalau memang masih kita antara pembelajaran kita tuh kan masih luring dan daring fenomena COVID di kita begitu.
Ya,
Jadi tidak 100% kita luring, tetap luring kita kasih juga fasilitas daring sehingga kita siapkan fasilitas seperti webcamnya. Jadi memang yang hadir juga kita harapkan hadir di kelas, yang memang pas kebetulan lagi cuti atau lagi memang tidak bekerja pulang kampung, kita kasih fasilitas boleh mereka pakai daring. Itu mungkin Pak Reza kalau permasalahan
ya.
dinamikanya
Kalau
di Batam itu.
sebagai daerah industri ini Pak Dr. Zulfikar ini ada Dr. Asral, dia dari Industrial Estate juga ini, University Pelita Bangsa. Pak Asral, mungkin ada fenomena tertentu di kampus Bapak, mungkin bisa di-sharing ke Ibu Albania maupun Dr. Zulfikar. Pak Asral bisa open your mic kalau masih ada bersama kita. Ini ada namanya Pak Asral UPB. UPB ini University Pelita Bangsa, Bu Albania, letaknya di Cikarang. Cikarang itu adalah industrial estate kayak Selangor. Tadi saya ada WhatsApp ya, tapi nggak tahu kalau dia tak available nak talk nggak apa-apa.
Mungkin ini kali bukan itu Universitas Buana Perjuangan kayaknya kalau di Karawang.
UPB
Bukan ya?
itu University Pelita Bangsa.
Oke.
Di sana ada juga University Buana itu tadi ada juga
Ya.
Unsika itu University yang di Karawang lain lagi.
Ya,
Oke, kita masuk ke closing remark saja dari Dr. Zul dalam 2-3 menit karena sudah ada juga di sini.
Terima kasih Pak Reza.